Hi guys, I am Shahzad and welcome on our YouTube channel. Today we're gonna discuss about the Ajax in Codeigniter 3. How can you use the Ajax functionality with Codeigniter 3? Like how can you perform the CRUD operations by using the Ajax? We start from the zero, like how can you download, configure the Codeigniter 3, how can you create your database, tables, and also we give you some tips and tricks in Codeigniter 3 by using the Ajax. We're gonna teach you like how can you use the jQuery file to call the Ajax method. How can you call the Ajax? How can you send the data by using the Ajax to your backend? I'm talking about the PHP. How can you receive the data which is coming from the Ajax in PHP? How can you send that particular data to your model or to your database? A lot of things we are going to cover in this crash course. So let's get started. Type Codeigniter on the Google. You can see here is the first result, codeigniter.com. so it's the official website. So I consider that you have the basic knowledge of Codeigniter 3 and JavaScript, jQuery and Ajax. So because this is the I'm saying that basic knowledge. Or so hit the download button. Make sure we are going to download 3.x. We are not going to download 2.x because 2.x is the legacy version of the framework. So while I'm recording this lecture, 3.1.6 is the current version of this framework. So hit the download button. Once you download the setup, so make sure I am downloading the setup and I'm going to use PHP Storm. So I'm going to start my PHP Storm. Just a second. So I'm starting my PHP Storm. You can see PHP Storm. I have PHP Storm 2017 one versions, and I have a license. If you are a teacher or you are a student, just provide the ID which is from your institutions or from your academic career or from your organization. So you can just send an email to the PHP Storm and they will provide you the 1 year license, 1 year free license, 1 year student or 1 year teacher license for you, because you can see subscription says 2018 and I'm going to start CS3. So we have successfully downloaded our Codeigniter 3.1.6. I'm now again saying that while I'm recording this lecture, 3.1.6 is the current version of the framework. So hit the download button, show in the folder. So I have Codeigniter 3.1.6. you can see here is 3.1.6 and you can also see here is Shakespeare. Okay, so 3.1.6 Control X, and I'm just telling you that I'm using XAMPP. It's a server, and I consider that you have the basic knowledge of the servers. If you are working on the WAMP or LAMP, it's totally dependent upon you. So I am using XAMPP. So I have installed my XAMPP inside my C directory. So if you are working on WAMP, you can keep this setup inside your www directory. So I have installed my XAMPP inside my C directory, and you can see I have a XAMPP folder, and I can, if you have a XAMPP, you can keep your files, you can keep your Codeigniter setup inside the htdocs, and make sure if you are using WAMP, you have to keep your Codeigniter setup inside the www directory. And you can see I'm here, so Control V. So I have already 3.1.6. so here is 3.1.6. you can extract 3.1.6 in the XAMPP, in the htdocs directory. So we are going to set something, we are going to set our site URL, and we are going to set our database environment, and make sure I am going to use PHP admin for my database. So go to your first of all just click on the XAMPP. You have to start your Apache server and MySQL. So because we are going to perform our CRUD operations using MySQL, because we are going to create our tables and our columns and our database using phpMyAdmin. So go to your localhost, make sure. So I have installed more than one server inside my machine, inside my local environment. So that's why I'm saying I have 8090 port. So don't worry. So this is the local host, and just go to your phpMyAdmin, because I'm working on ASP.NET and some others frameworks like JSF. So I have installed many servers inside my local environment. So that's why I set my port to 8090. So you can access your if you have the local host. So it's totally depend upon you, because I have changed my .htaccess file using XAMPP. So click the phpMyAdmin buttons, click the database, because we are going to we are going to set our database, we are going to create our new database. I am saying CRUD, make sure CRUD, make sure C capital, R capital, U capital, D capital, CRUD, okay, with Ajax. Okay, make sure CRUD capital, or you can see C capital, CRUD, W capital with Ajax. Make sure AJAX capital. So create the database. I have just created my database, so I'm going to create my tables. So how can you create your tables? You can just type your table's name. I'm providing the table's name. What is the name of the table? So I'm saying that students is a table's name. So set your columns. I'm saying we are going to set our columns: one ID, second email, password, name, status, and date. So now we have 6 columns. So ID, name, email, password, and status, date. So 6 columns. I'm going to create my 6 columns. Hit the go button. So now you have 6 fields. You can, now we are going to set I'm saying that SD means student ID. Make sure I capital. So here is I capital. So it's integer. I'm saying 200 length is enough, and I am also saying that index is the primary key. I am setting this. Okay, so I'm saying go, and I'm saying this is the auto increment field. So I'm saying student name, make sure N capital. So name, I'm saying this is the varchar field, and I'm saying 100 or 50 length is enough. So here is, I'm saying std email, so make sure E capital, and I'm saying this is the varchar field, so 50 is enough. So I am also saying student std password, make sure P capital. So here is your password. So this is varchar. So I'm saying that 100 is enough. Okay, so now you have your name, email, password. So I'm saying status. So status, I'm saying this is 10, and by default it's 0 value or 1 value. So status is not required in this section, but I'm just creating, and I'm saying that std date is required. Make sure D capital, date is required. So this is the date time field, date time. So I'm saying just save it. So now we have successfully created our database, we have successfully created our tables, and you can see, click on the structure. Now you have student ID. So now you can click on the structure. So you have student ID, name. I don't know why it's happening. Student name, student ID, student name, std email, password, status, and std date. So these are the columns we are going to use. So we have just extracted our Codeigniter setup. So here is your Codeigniter 3.1.6. rename your Codeigniter setup. I'm saying crud, make sure Ajax. So these are the capitals letters. So all letters are capitals. 8 crud operation. Make sure I am renaming my folder crud Ajax. So now we have crud Ajax. So go to your PHP store setup. So these are the files because I have created Ajax with Ajax crud operations using Codeigniter. So go to your file section and open your project. I'm saying open my project. So go to your htdocs. So I have installed my XAMPP inside my C directory. So go to your C directory, XAMPP htdocs, and I'm just selecting crud, which we have just created. So here is your crud Ajax directory or Codeigniter setup. I am saying open this in the current window. So now we are going to set something. So open your application folder, go to your config folder, and go to your config.php file. So we have config.php file. So you must set your base URL. So what is the base URL? So I consider that you have the basic knowledge of the Codeigniter. So base URL is the URL or is the root directory where you keep your Codeigniter setup. So I'm saying localhost, and we have just created crud. Make sure crud Ajax folder. So whenever you hit your crud Ajax folder, so now it's your basic basic environment. It's executing the welcome message. This is the by default controller, which is so copy your root directory. So crud Ajax is the directory where you can keep all the Codeigniter files inside this directory. So I'm saying base URL means this is the root directory. Okay, so remove your index.php in index page. Okay, so now go to your root directory. So here is your root directory. Create a file named .htaccess. Make sure .htaccess. So I'm just removing index.php. Make sure whenever you want to access some controller, make sure this is the welcome controller. So whenever you want to create your particular controller, you have to provide the index.php file before accessing any controller. So I'm going to remove index.php file. How can you remove your index.php file? Just go to documentation, because we are using 3.x. So here is your 3.x online documentations. You can also watch or also find your offline documentation, which is in the user guide directory. So user guide directory is that directory where you can find the all Codeigniter environment or documentations. I'm saying .htaccess. So it can find the .htaccess or I'm saying URL, and here is your URL, Codeigniter URL. So make sure, so go to your Codeigniter URL, and they are saying if you want to remove the .htaccess file, how can you remove .htaccess file? Just a second. URL, where is the, okay, I'm just opening my, because .ht. So here is your root directory. So I have .htaccess file inside this directory. Where is .ht? So here is your .htaccess file. So here is your some code. So you don't need to memorize each and everything. So you have a code. Now you can access any controller without calling index.php. So now you can access your controller using index.php. So you have successfully removed index.php from your URL. So go to your application folder once again, go to your config folder, and I'm going to set something to auto load. Make sure I'm going to use helper, which is file helper, and I'm going to use URL helper, and I'm going to use form helper. So I set these helpers to auto load, and make sure I'm going to set some directories because database, sorry, not directories, libraries. So I'm going to use we are going to insert some data using this database class or this database library. So go to your model, because we are going to create our model. So right click on the model. So you can see here is your class. I'm going to create our class, which is mod crud. Make sure C capital RUD. So crud, we have just created our mod crud class. Make sure extends to CI underscore model. So we have successfully created our mod crud class. Make sure I'm going to set this model to auto load. Why we are doing why we are setting these libraries, helpers and models to auto load? Because we are going to call these helpers, libraries, or our model to any our class, to any our library. So that's why we are setting these things to auto load. So I'm saying that I have mod crud, set this model to auto load. So we have successfully created our models, and now you have your environment. So once again, go to your application folder, config folder, and go to your database, because we are going to provide our database setting. Make sure we have connected with our local environment. So that's why I'm saying root is the username, password is empty. Make sure we have just created our database, named which database? Crud. Make sure crud with Ajax, C capital, V capital. So here is your crud. Copy this bad boy and go to your database environment. So crud database. So now go to your environment, because here is your why unable to load the request file, form.php. So go to your auto load. Where is the file? So we have URL and comma separate. Oh, not comma separated. Make sure comma separated like this. So make sure set. We are setting some our helpers to auto load, like I'm not using form URL. So okay, it's enough. So now go to your root directory and hit the refresh your page. So now it's working fine. Now we are going to create our first controller. So we are going to use this controller to our, so go to your right click and make sure you must keep the controller inside the controller folder. You must keep the model inside your model folder, and you must keep the views inside the views folder. So that's why I told you that you have the basic knowledge of the Codeigniter if you are watching this series. So make sure I'm going to create crud controller, and I'm going to save this file inside my controller directory or inside my controller folder. Hit the enter button. So I have just created the crud class or crud controller. Make sure I extends to CI underscore, not model, CI underscore controller, and make sure I'm saying this is the index function, make sure whenever you want to access your controller, the index method automatically executed index. So here is your index method, and I'm saying that index method is working. So now your index method is working. Go to your controller, make sure, so you have the welcome controller. So I'm saying this is the CRUD controller, or I can say CRUD. So now it's saying working. So we have just created our controller. So make sure, go to your application folder once again, and go to your routes.php file, and make sure by default your default controller is welcome. Whenever you can access your root directory, it always execute your default controller. So default controller is a welcome controller. So make sure, we have just created CRUD controllers. So we are setting our CRUD controller which we have just created, and we are setting this controller to default controller. So make sure, save your file, go to your root directory, make sure this is the root directory CRUD Ajax, make sure all letters are capitals. So whenever you want to access your root directory, your default controller will be executed. I don't know why it's not executing, because C is capital CRUD. So refresh the page, it should work. Okay, now it's working. So start, go to your Google, because Google is the king. So go to your Google and write the jQuery CDN. Make sure jQuery CDN. You can also download the file, and you can keep that file inside your XYZ directory, or whatever directory you want to keep this jQuery file. But I am going to embed CDN. So here is the uncompressed version, minified version, slim or slim minified. So these are the, and make sure the jQuery version is a 3.2.1. So here is the jQuery 2 or jQuery 1. So these are the different versions of the jQuery. So I am saying, then please embed the minified version. So you can see they are giving you some code. Just copy that code, and you can embed this code inside your view. We have not created our view, so go to your application folder. Make sure, go to your application folder, and in the application folder, inside the view folder, right click on the view, create your new file. Make sure I'm not saying class. So whenever I say class, so that means we are going to create our class. And whenever I say that the file, so that means that is a simple file, or I'm talking about simple file. So I'm saying this is my home file. So make sure I am going to create our I'm going to create my home view, and I'm going to keep this file or this view inside my view folder. Hit the enter button. So now you can see we have just created our view, which is home.php. So now make sure I have to write something like this, and make sure how can. So here is my code. I am saying title CRUD in Ajax. So now we are going to embed our jQuery in here. Okay, now go to your copy this bad boy and paste this bad boy. Okay, why it's not copying? So make sure copy like this, Control C, go to your view, Control V. So now we have successfully embedded our jQuery in our script. How can you check either it's working or not? I'm saying script, and I'm saying script close. I'm saying alert. So now alert. So I'm saying working. So go to your root directory, hit the submit button. So I have, oh sorry, we have not loaded our view inside our CRUD. So go to your controller, make sure you must load the view before starting. So how can you load your view? Because I consider that you have the basic knowledge of Codeigniter, so that's why I am not going to tell you how can you load your view. So I'm just telling you how can you load your view. So this load, I'm saying view. So which view? I'm saying home, which we have just created. Go to your root directory. So now it's saying working. So that's why we have successfully embedded our jQuery. Close your other files and so close your config, close your autoload file. So now we have the crud.php controller or crud class or crud controller. We have just loaded our view, and here is which view? I'm saying home view. So no need to write the .php. This is the basic okay. So go to your home, and you can see we have successfully embedded our script. So how can we create our file? So go, I'm saying I'm creating my assets folder inside my root directory. So go to right click and create new directory. I'm saying assets. In the assets, so you can see we have just created our assets directory inside our root folder. So which is the root folder? Crud Ajax. Make sure all letters are capitals. Crud Ajax is the root directory where we can keep our Codeigniter setup, our all Codeigniter setup, which we have downloaded, and we keep those files inside this directory. And make sure I have installed my XAMPP inside my C directory. So that's why I have a htdocs, because I am a XAMPP user, and I keep that folder inside the htdocs folder. Okay, so now we have just created assets. So go to the assets folder. You can see we are on the assets folder. Right click on the assets folder and just create a new directory inside the assets folder. So now I'm saying JS. So here is the JS. So hit the assets, open the assets folder. So here is your JS folder, and inside the JS folder create a JS JavaScript file. So I'm saying that custom, because it's a custom file. I'm saying custom is the name of this file. So now we have just created our custom.js file, and we keep this file inside our JS folder, which is in the assets folder, and the assets folder is available on the root directory. Okay, so now it's fine, it's working fine. How can you check either it's working or not? You can just create your console.log. okay, so what is the console.log? We can print our some string or our data using console. So now we are going to embed our JavaScript file below the jQuery file. Make sure you must embed your jQuery file at the top of your content, and you must keep your custom JS file below the jQuery. So now I am saying a script. So here is your script. So where is the source code? I'm saying site URL. Make sure we set the URL helper to auto load. So that's why we are calling here. So a site URL, I'm saying good. No, not site URL, base URL, because we are not going to call any controller. We are going to access our root directory. So base URL. So which is a base URL? I'm saying go to the root directory. So here is your root directory. So now we are on the root directory. Then I'm saying go to the assets folder. So we have assets folder, go to Ajax, and I'm saying custom.js file. So you can find custom.js file inside the JS folder, and where is the JS folder? JS folder is available inside the assets folder. And where is the assets folder? I'm saying that assets folder is available inside the root directory. So where is the root directory? We have you can find the root directory, because we set the root directory inside the config.php file inside the base URL. So that's why I am saying base URL and load this file. So go to your root directory, make sure click the enter button. So now you can write your h1 inside your script. I'm saying Ajax is working. Make sure Ajax is working. Oh, bad boy. Okay, so now Ajax is working. We have just embedded our custom JS file. So now you can see it's working fine. So we are printing some data in the console. So we are on the console section. Here you can see you can debug using the console. So console saying working. If you can so custom ss file is not exist. So go to your root directory, hit the refresh button. So now it's saying custom.js is not available. So it's saying 404 not found, means custom ss file is not found. So you can debug like this. So we have successfully embedded. Just view page, go to your view page. So now we have a JS file, we have our custom script. Okay, so now we have our environment. We have just created our custom file, and we have just loaded our CDN, which is a jQuery CDN. Now we have to create our form. So inside the view, I'm saying just echo form open. Make sure form open. It takes few parameter. Make sure it takes two parameters. One is action, where we are going to this form, and make sure the form is not required, because we are going to perform our CRUD operation using Ajax file. So we are not going to send this data, or we are going to create data to any form. So I'm saying, so here is my echo. Okay, I'm saying that form input. So it takes few parameters. Make sure it takes 3 parameters. So how can you set these parameters? I'm saying the field name is name. Okay, and the value okay, it's fine. So you can pass the class here. I'm saying my class, or if you are going to create or going to use more than 3 attributes, so you must pass the associative array inside the third parameters. So now in the third parameter you can pass the associative array. So how can you write the associative array? You can write the associative array like this. I'm saying that this is the class, and I'm saying what is the class name, and I'm saying this is the name, and in the second parameter, means in the array, so you can set the id like this, my id. Okay, my id. So this is enough. We are going to, so now here is your first field, and you can pass if you are saying that the placeholder, and I'm saying what is the placeholder. So I'm saying that placeholder is the enter your name. So now placeholder, go to your form, refresh the page. So now you have the basic form. So here is your form. So we have a field named form. Copy that bad boy and paste that bad boy. So now you have your form name, and I'm saying this is email, or I'm saying this is the text, and I'm saying this is the email, and I'm saying this is class is email. So here is your name, placeholder inside your email. So now you have your email, and I'm saying this is the password, or you can see copy paste and you can set the placeholder. So I'm saying password, so P capital, and I'm saying this is the password. Password. So what is the field name? I'm saying password. Okay, so now we have name, email, password. So which thing is missing? I'm saying because we have email, password. Go to your form, and you can find the structure. So here is your structure. Name. Okay, no, I'm saying that the name, email, password, and the date. You can set the date using your okay. So now name, email, password is required. We are going to set date inside the PHP script. So now we just need a submit button. So how can you create a submit button? I'm going to create the submit button using the submit form. Submit. It takes 3 parameters, of course. So how can you define the 3 parameters? First is the field's name. I'm saying submit, and what is the value of submit? I'm saying this is the submit. You can pass the class here, or you can pass the associative array which we have just passed inside the form input fields. So I'm saying I'm just providing the string. So I'm not going to create the associative array here. I'm saying my submit. So now I have the submit button. So now go to your form and refresh the page. So now you have the name, email, password field, and a submit button. So hit the submit button. Nothing is happening because we have not calling this submit button. So how can you call this submit button? I'm saying that I'm going to write my JavaScript script inside this file. So how can you write your JavaScript inside this file? So I'm saying okay, I'm saying when the DOM is ready, document dollar, and I'm saying document dot ready, and so I can perform the callback function. So when the DOM is ready, I'm saying that when someone clicks on the ID, which ID or which class, I'm saying whenever someone someone click the this class, because it's a class, so that's why we are accessing with the dot. So it's the basic. So I'm saying just alert me something. So it's saying okay, go to your form, control F5, because we are going to delete our cookies. So now it's saying read only is not defined. So what is the read only? Not read only, ready. When the DOM is ready, refresh the page. So now it's saying okay, so you can click the submit button. So now it's saying working. So now you can, first of all, you can fetch your data using these files, these fields, email, name, email, and password. How can you do that? You can say you have your class name, and I'm saying dot val, fetch the value, and copy these fields like this. So now you can create your variables name, and I'm saying create another variables which is email. I'm saying create another variable which is password. So rename these variables email and password, and you can fetch because you have just created the email class. So you can fetch this data using email class, because you can fetch the data, you can access the class using dot. So this is the basic. So now I'm saying password. Okay, so now you have your email name, email, and password. So now you can check, you can perform some check using the if else statement. So you can check the if else statement like this: if your name is empty, empty, or email is also empty, and I'm saying, or the password is empty. So I'm setting the, we are performing, we are saying please check the or fields are required. So now otherwise I'm saying just alert me, and I'm saying perform Ajax here if the fields are not empty. So I'm showing this result inside the div. So here is your div, and I'm going to feedback. So feedback, go to your, because we have just created a class, that's why we are saying that's feedback. So now go to your root directory, refresh the page. So now you have 3 fields. Whenever you submit the file, it's saying all fields are required. If you are going to provide some informations from these 3 fields, hit the submit button. So now it's saying perform Ajax operations here. So how can you call the Ajax? $Ajax, make sure. So now we are going to call our Ajax request. Okay, so now Ajax, I'm saying, so what is the type of this request? I'm saying type is post, and comma separated, make sure where is the URL. I'm saying this is my URL here, and comma separate, and I'm saying what is the data which we are going to send. I'm saying name equals to name, and I'm saying email. So don't worry, I will explain further what's going on here. Password, so here is your password. And so we have, so now when we successfully, so here is our success, when the form, when we send our data successfully, we are going to call our function which is here, and if we get some error, so how can you define some error using this? So now error field, so here is your error, function, and error here. I'm saying error here, and I'm saying feedback here. So when we receive, when we perform, when we insert our data using Ajax call, so I'm saying feedback here. Okay, so now it's fine. So we have successfully created our section, which is Ajax section. How can, first of all, we are sending our data. Okay, so now we are sending our data in JSON format. So you can see we are, the type of the format is the post, and here is the URL. So first of all, how can you set your URL? So is track, you can set two variables, or you can set one variables in your script here in the form, or in here script. Okay, I'm saying script close. I'm saying var surl. I'm setting the URL in the surl variable, which is the JavaScript variables, and I'm saying site URL. So I'm just telling the site URL. So this is the site URL. Okay, so here is your site URL first of all. So how can you access? I'm saying the site URL plus, so your controller name, and then your function name or method name, function name. Okay, so now I'm saying controller is the CRUD, so CRUD is the controller, and I'm saying add user. Okay, so this is the method, and we have not created yet this method. So go to your crud.php, which is the controller, and create your function and the user method. So now in the user method, I'm saying that working. I am just echoing working. For now it's working. You can go to the CRUD, write the controller and then the function here. So what is the function, what is the method which we have just created? So we have created add users method. So add user method we have just created. So now it's saying working. So go to your root directory, refresh the page. So now whenever you submit the button, we are receiving 3 values from our client side. We are sending our values in the JSON format, and we are going to accept these values in the method which we have just created named add user. So now when you hit the button, you receive some data here, you receive some data here, and you can console, or you can print your data inside the console field. I'm saying console. Okay, so now refresh the page. First of all, hit the button. It's saying all fields are required. I'm saying KK. So hit the submit button. So now it's saying working. So you are calling an Ajax request. So we are echoing at the add user methods, and we are receiving the data in the data field when we successfully call the Ajax request. So now how can you receive the inputs which you have sending in these fields, name, email, password, and using the post method? So I'm saying this input post to, so name, email, password. So here is your name, make sure name, email and password. Here is your email and here is your password. So these are the fields which you are sending from your client side. Password. So now you have 3 fields. How can you check these 3 fields, either it's working or not working? You can echo one by one. So name field, go to refresh the page. So now you can say Shakesy. So hit the submit button. So it's saying okay, all fields are required. So fill the required fields. So now first of all, you are just echoing these fields. So it should print these fields in the console. Hit the submit button. So now it's saying console. Why it's not name equals to name? Okay, echo name equals to name. You can debug, you can print the console. Either we are receiving our console.log, and just a second, console.log name. So refresh the page. So now fill the fields. So now hit the submit button. We are receiving here, but we are not console.log data. Okay, this is the data. Okay, so we are missing something which is data, so that's why it's not receiving. So go to the page, refresh the page, and I'm saying KK MMNN, submit the button. So now it should say, or it's saying KK. So now you are sending the data, you are receiving the data from here, and you can echo out your email. Go to your page, submit the button. So now it's saying MM because we are sending the MM inside the email section. So how can I'm just telling you how can you debug, or how can you validate, or how can you ensure that either you are receiving your values or not. So now submit the button. It's saying NN. So you are successfully receiving the values which you have just sent, or which you have sending from your jQuery. So now we are going to add, or we are going to send these values to the model, and we are going to create our business logic or our queries inside the model. So how can you send, because it's a basic. So we are creating our associative array here. So this is the associative array. Make sure I'm saying associative array. So now it's saying you have to match your keys, your associative arrays keys in your with your these fields. So now you have your std name. So here is your std name, std email. Make sure E capital email, and here is your std password. So password. So now, so how can you you can also send the date inside your, when you call the, so here is your date, and how can you call the date? You can call your date like this date. So create your date, I'm saying that month, and I'm saying hour, and I'm saying, oh sorry, day, and I'm saying hour, second, and I'm saying AM PM. So now you can call the model. We have loaded our model using the autoload.php file. So what is our model? Go to your application folder and go to your model, and open your model. So model is your mod crud. So I'm saying mod crud, and I'm saying add new user. So I'm calling the method, and I'm sending the associative array which we have just created from our controllers method. So now go to your this model which is mod crud, create your method, and we are passing the associative array from our controller. So we have to receive that values from our model. So this is the basic. So this db, I'm saying insert it takes two parameters. One is associative array. First parameter is your table's name. Second parameters the associative array. First parameter is the table's name. So what is the name of your table? So students is the name of your table. So I'm saying students and I'm saying return. So when the data is inserted, it should returns true, otherwise it should returns false. So I'm saying return type, and I'm checking this values in the if else conditions. So if we added our data, I'm saying return type, I'm saying you have successfully added your student. Okay, otherwise I'm saying that you cannot add your user right now, please try again. Okay, so now we are adding our data by calling insert method, and make sure why the db, because we set our database library in the autoload section. So go to your config file, which is in the application folder. So go into your config folder and go to your autoload.php file. You can see here we load our libraries. So here is your libraries, database library. Okay, so close your autoload.php file, go to your fields. So now I'm saying student name. What is the student name? I'm saying Shekzi. Make sure we are not validating our email from the client side or the server side. So I'm just inserting the email. I'm saying info@shekzi.com. so password is kk. Make sure we are not encrypting our password. We are just going to store the password as it is. So hit the submit button. So now it's saying 500 internal error. So whenever you get this type of error, how can you validate your form? So first of all, you are sending 3 parameters here. So I am just telling you, because so here is your data, you are sending data here, and you are calling the data, you are receiving data here. So here is your db insert students. So here is your student's name. So just a second, hit the submit button. So now it's saying you have successfully added your student. So go to your database sections, click the tables. So now you can see you have successfully added your data using Ajax. So how can you validate if you are making a mistake? So I'm saying that this table is not exist. So whenever you want to insert this record, so it should say the 500 internal error. So how can you ensure that the where is the problem? So how can you find the problem? It's just a trick. You can receiving these values using Ajax. What? Okay, so now because you are receiving the values using post method, so you can comment this, you can copy this all section, and you can comment your all section from here to here. Okay, so now you can paste all your section. Okay, so you can receive 3 parameters here, 1, 2, because we are validating our we are finding or we are debugging our code. So here is 3, so we are receiving 3 parameters. You can, so here is your 1 parameter and here is your 2 parameter. So here is your 2 parameter and here is your 3 parameter, and you can comment the post section. Okay, so now you can directly call this method by going to root directory. Make sure you can access your controller, which is the Crud controller, and you can access your method using add user method. Make sure we are sending 3 parameters from here to, so 1 parameters I'm saying Shakesy, second parameters info 123, or this is the email field, and this is the password. Password is KK. Hit the enter button. So you can see it's saying table Crud Ajax student doesn't exist. So now you can validate this table is not exist. So you can just go to your models and you can fix the problems, and now you can insert your now you can hit the enter button. So now it should say that you have successfully inserted your student, or you have successfully added your students. So you can validate like this, or you can debug your code like this. So remove these fields. Make sure first of all remove these fields and remove this code, because you have validated your code, or you, and remove the comment sections. So now go to your root directory. Okay, go to your root directory, and I'm saying Sidra info at Sidra. Make sure this email is not exist at hotmail.com. Info at info at sidra.com. Okay, password is KK. Hit the submit button. Now it should saying that added your student. So now how can you validate your method if someone call or someone access your method using your URL? So I can also access your URL using this. I'm saying, so now it should say that column name cannot be null. So how can you validate like this? So make sure you can use a method. You can validate your section, your server side section, like this. I'm saying if the request is not Ajax, please redirect the user. So I'm saying if this input is Ajax request, if it's not the Ajax request, you can redirect to a URL or to a particular controller or method. Otherwise you can add the user. So you can copy this bad boy code and you can paste your bad boy code inside here. So now you are validating your request, either it's coming from the Ajax or someone accessing directly from the URL. Okay, so this input is Ajax. So now go to your section, hit the enter button. So now it's saying redirect to a URL. So how can you redirect to a user to a particular URL? I'm saying that I'm setting some information in the flash data. So first of all you have to load the session library, because we are redirecting, we are using the flash data. I'm saying this load. So go to your load.php file. You can set your session library to auto load. You can see session library. So in the second parameter you can load your library. So once you have loaded the library, you can call your library to any controller, any view, or any helper. So now I'm saying this session set flash data it takes two parameters. One is error, so here is your error. So what is the error? I'm saying this. Okay, so here is your error. I'm saying please call the Ajax request. Okay, so now we are setting our flash data from here. So and we have to redirect so redirect to a particular URL. I am saying please redirect to the CRUD controllers, and we go to your home section, and you can check your flash data here. I'm saying I'm using PHP shortcode. So and if I'm saying if this session flash data, okay, if the flash data is exist, which flash data? This flash data. If the flash data is exist, please echo the flash data. Make sure this is the if condition. Echo the flash data, or you can do like this. Please echo the flash data. Okay. Echo this out. Now go to this redirect URL, hit the enter button. So now it should say the call to a flash data action flash undefined method this session. Okay, because we are missing this bad boy. So go to your request URL, hit the enter button. So now it should say that go to your CRUD and access your method using your URL. This is your CRUD and this is the method add new user. So access user add new user method directly from your URL. So now it should redirect to a particular page, to a particular page. So it's saying it's not available. Why it's saying it's not available? Because we are redirecting. Where is redirect method? CRUD. So here is your CRUD. So okay, we are just passing the wrong URL. Just add user, you can directly access now add user. It should redirect to a controller. Now it's saying please call the Ajax request. So you have successfully validated your Ajax request from your controller, and you are sending the data from your user to your from your client side. We are saying that this session set flash data, because we are setting the data inside the flash data. It takes two parameters. One is key, second is the value. I am saying this is the error field, and what is the message? So here is your message. I'm saying please call the Ajax request. So we should redirect to the index method. So how can you access the index method? You just call the controller, or you just call the class name. So because whenever you want to access, whenever you want to call a particular request because you are accessing the controller, it should automatically execute the index method. So now we are setting our flash data and we are redirecting to a CRUD controller, make sure controller. So whenever you are redirecting to a particular controller, it's automatically execute the index method. So now when the index method executed, or when you access the index method, so it's load the view. So go to your view, you can check the flash data inside the view. So you can check using if condition. I'm saying if bad boy, I'm saying this session flash data. Make sure I'm saying flash data, I'm not saying set flash data. So this is your flash data, which I'm saying error, because we are setting our message inside the error key, which is the first parameter of the set flash data. So when the flash data is available, we can echoing this flash data. Okay, echo this flash data. So now this session flash data, okay, we are missing this, we are missing this. Okay, so go to your root, refresh the page. So now you can access the method directly, add user. It should say that the please call the Ajax request. So now you have validated your Ajax request. Add the user, add user here, and email here, and password here. Hit the submit button. So now it should saying you have successfully added your student. So now what are the data which we have inserted inside our table? So here is your 4 fields, and you can go to your controller, which is CRUD. Make sure we have a single controller named CRUD. So you are validating either it's the Ajax request or someone accessing this method from the URL. So go to your main controller, means index method. You can call your model, which model? I'm saying mod CRUD, and I'm saying get all records, and I'm storing this informations in the associative array all records, and I can pass this in the second parameters. So I'm passing this data which is coming from the model, and I'm sending this data inside the associative array, and I'm going to access the data using this key. So it's a basic. So go to your model and create the method public function, and I'm saying this method, and I'm not sending some argument from the controller, so that's why we are not receiving. So this is the return field, and I'm saying this db, I'm saying get where, or I'm saying just get the results, get the all results. So I'm saying students. Okay, so it should return the all data. Once you return the all data, I am going to access this data in the home controller. So home view. So go to your home view, and I'm saying, so this is the section. You can create the table, and I'm saying border equals to 1, and I'm saying that th name email, and I'm saying you cannot show the passwords here. I'm saying date, and I'm saying okay, it's enough. So I'm saying that if the record is exist, if we have some records, do something, otherwise do something. Okay, if we have record, because we are sending the records inside the associative array, so we must access the records using this. So if we have records, do something, otherwise do something. So here is your else. And if so, now your records here, or you can say the data is not exist, whatever, data not exist. Okay, so if the record is exist, call the for each loop. So now you have your for each loop, and I'm saying int for each loop, so I can say all records, and I'm saying give me the record in the objects form, so that's why I'm using the result. If you want to records in the array form, you can use the result array. Okay, so now I'm saying please bring me the result in the object, and I'm saying as student std. So I can say tr, and I'm receiving these values inside here. So I'm saying std name, just copy and paste these bad boys. Okay, control D, copy paste. We have 3 values, so that's why this is the name and this is the std email. And I'm saying this is the date. Okay, so now go to your record, or go to your home controller, or sorry, not home, CRUD controller, refresh the page. So now it should say these are the fields. You can set some BR. Okay, here is your some BRs. We are breaking the rules. So you have we are adding our records like this, and you can say please bring me the record in the descending order. So you can say this db, and I'm saying order by desc. First parameter is the column name, and second parameter either you are receiving the descending or ascending or the random order. So I am saying std stid order by stid. So go to your, because here is your st means student id. So now go to your CRUD controller, refresh the page. So now you have your data in the descending order. So you have fetched your data. So how can you show your data whenever someone access or someone add these values? Okay, so now head to the submit button. So you are submitting, you are adding a new user, refresh the page. So now you have the 5th user which you have just inserted. So how can you show dynamically? So first of all, you have to you can go to your custom.js file. You can create your when you have successfully added your data, you can create a variable like myvar, or whatever you want to keep the name of your variables. I'm saying myvar. Make sure it's the empty variable, so it's tricky. Consider this. Okay, so now you are adding your data inside here. I'm saying please, whenever you call this method which is available in the mod home, please bring me the last inserted id. So I'm saying this db last id, so return, so we are returning the last id. Insert id, insert id or the last id, insert id, I think insert id. So now we are returning the id which is the integer. So you can say please if is integer, so if the value is integer which is returned from your call of this method, type you have successfully added your students, otherwise you can say you cannot add your student. So type something. I'm saying Hina at hotmail.com, kk password, hit the submit button. It's saying you have successfully added your student. So now you are returning an integer. So once you returns, or once you are returning the integer, you can pass this integer, you can access, first of all you can echo this out. So go to your CRUD controllers, hit the submit button. So now it's saying 7th id. So you can create another method, this db, sorry, not db, I am calling the model this CRUD get last record and pass the id in here. So now go to your controller and create a method, we are sending the id, so we can receive the id here, stid here, and you can say bring me the record this db, and I'm saying this db get where it takes two parameters, one is table's name, second is associative array, and I'm saying where student id equals to this in the students table. So bring me the result. So now you can have the value, I'm saying last record, so you can check your last record like this in the if condition. Make sure in the if condition I'm saying if the record is last record num rows equals to 1, so echo works, otherwise just say not works. Make sure, go to your CRUD controller, hit the submit button, so it's saying works. So now you have, it's working fine, so you can receive, so you are receiving the last record, and you can say please, oh sorry, echo, make sure JSON encode method, and you can say result array. Why we are doing this? Because we are saying that bring me the record as a associative array. Okay, so you can call this method inside here. Please give me the result using associative array, because we are chaining here, or if you can, because you can, we are chaining here, so that's why we are doing this. So you can also do like this. So we are so now we are fetching the result as a associative array. So now once we have associative array, we are converting that associative array into the JSON format. So now you have the JSON format, and you can now echo or console log. We are echoing, or we are showing our data inside the console. So go to your CRUD operations, hit the submit button. Okay, it's saying 500 internal error. Why it's saying 500 internal error? Go to your page. I'm saying result array. So first of all, because we are receiving the associative array here, not the object. So now you should check here, because we are receiving the associative array here. So I'm saying now count equals to, because it's the count, you can check your array inside the count, the array length. So now go to your form, submit the form. It should say now you are fetching your data using the JSON format. Okay, so once you have a JSON format, so it's a JSON format, so how can you convert this format at the JS section? So here is your JS section. So you can convert this sections by calling a JSON parse. So here is your data. You can say JSON dot parse. So you can parse the data here, and now you have the JSON data. You can keep this data inside a variable's name converted. Okay, so now you can show your data in the console section here. Okay, go to your data, refresh the page, because we have just changed the jQuery code, so that's why we are refreshing. So now you can write something. I'm saying hina@hotmail.com kk submit. So now you are receiving an object. So because it's in the array form, so in the 0 index you have a object. So how can you fetch this data? I'm saying please my data. I'm saying tr. I'm writing my tr here. Okay, so now I'm saying here is my tr, my var. Just a second, I will explain you further. And I'm saying this is my data, and I'm saying var, this is my td, and td close. So now once you have a converted JSON data, you have parsed, because we are parsing our JSON, because we are receiving the data using the associative array from the controller. So here is your associative array. We are converting our associative array into the JSON format, and we are parsing our data in using the json.parse method, so which is available in the jQuery sections. So now we are receiving the data in the array. So you can see here is your array length 0, and so this is the array and this is the object. So in the 0 index you have your whole object. So now I can say Okay, I can say that in the 0 section means we are accessing the index 0, and I'm saying std name, st name. Okay, so copy this and paste here. We are saying that this is the email, and we are saying this is the password, not password, date. So we are adding all of our HTML content with our dynamic content inside our variables. So now how can you set append this variables? I'm saying find the, you can keep your class, you can give the class name of your table. I'm saying my tables. So go to your jQuery section and you can access by calling the dot, because it's a class, and I'm saying dot append, and you can pass your variables, this variables here. So now go to your CRUD controller, refresh the page, because we have changed our jQuery code, so that's why we are refreshing. I'm saying that Alex, I'm saying Alex at hotmail.com, password is KK. So now you can see here, whenever you can hit the submit button, it's add your current element, which is Alex, and now you can say Alex again, and you can hit the submit button. So now it's saying Alex again. But if you want to insert your record at the top of your table, you can use the prepend function. So now go to your controller, refresh the page. So John at hotmail.com, password is KK, hit the submit button. So you can see you are adding the John at the top of your content. Create a field th, add it, and here you can see you can create a button, anchor, sorry, not button, and it's, we are not sending this edit system to anywhere, so that's why I'm saying, sorry, I'm saying place JavaScript void. That means I'm saying I'm not sending this anchor to anywhere. Okay, so now we have a JavaScript void sections. I can say I have a data text, and I'm saying that I have a text ID, and I'm defining a class which is edit. Make sure it's your choice, XYZ. You can keep your name XYZ, and whatever you want to create your class, or you want to keep that class name. So in this fields, I'm saying this encrypt. Okay, so now I'm passing my ID, which is std ID, inside my encrypt method. Make sure we are using encryptions class provided by Codeigniter, and make sure before using any class, any helper, and any library, you must load that library before using. So we are using our library here, we are not loading our library before using. So now you can go your controller, which is CRUD, refresh your page. So now it should say undefined property loader encryption. So that's why this is giving encryptions encrypt. So now go open your autoload.php file and make sure you have your autoload.php file. You can keep this library to autoload. Make sure I am saying encryption load this file, or set this file to auto load. So that's why you can call anywhere. So now go to your controller, refresh the page. So now it's saying Okay, fine. It's saying fine, but why? Because we have a TD or TD. Okay, so now you have a edit section. Okay, go to your controller, refresh the page. You have your, okay, why? Because we are not starting TD, so TD start, TD close, refresh the page. So now it's working fine. So, and make sure one thing, before encrypting anything, you can inspect element. Now you can see data text is empty. Why it's empty? Because go to your config.php file, we have not, you can see encryptions key is empty, so that's why it's showing this. So you can pass the encryption key, or you can create your encryptions key here, and save the page or config.php file, go to your controller, refresh the page. So now you can see you have your encryptions ID. So you can see here is your encryptions ID, and now you have, once you are in encryptions ID, you can set this ID here, because we are going to do something, that's why we need this ID. So you have a data text inside this section, and you have a ID. So ID is 15 and your ID is encrypted here. So you can see in every field, right click, inspect element, you can see here is 14 ID, and you can see here is your encryptions key. So now I can say whenever someone hit the edit buttons, I'm going to fetch, I'm checking this information from the database, and I'm going to show this informations inside some text or some fields, and your user will edit this sections, and we are going to update this area as well. So now you have your go to your custom.js file, and make sure you can, I can zoom out. Oh, here is document ready. I'm saying that whenever someone click, just a second, I'm going to explain what's going on. I'm saying whenever someone click this class, so fetch the current, make sure I'm saying this data, and I'm saying text, I can store this variable text, create these variables, and you can store this data inside this variables, and I'm cloning this, and I'm saying fetch the ID as well, and I'm saying this is ID. Okay, so now you can print this in the console.log, either it's coming or not. Okay, so now I have a text, and plus I'm saying this is the ID, and go to your controller, refresh the page. So now you can click on the console sections and edit your, okay, control F5, you can press the control F5 because we are deleting some cookies. Edit, click on the edit sections, you can see we have a we are fetching this current encrypted key and this ID. Make sure encrypted text and this ID, we are fetching this encrypted text and this ID. Make sure you can also check this like this, if the fields are empty you can pass some errors here, but I am not checking this because it's working fine. Okay, so now I can call the Ajax. So here is your Ajax systems, and I'm saying the type of the type, this is the type which is the post type, This is the post type, and I'm saying what is the URL. Okay, I'm saying SURL. So here is your SURL, and I'm saying please go to the CRUD controller and the functions check user. Okay, so I'm saying, okay, so now comma separate, you can because we are sending some data. Which data we are sending? This data. Make sure comma separated. Which data? Text in the text field. Okay, comma separate ID in the ID field. Okay, so now we are at the type post and we are sending from to this URL data this. So now I'm saying success. So here is response, and I'm saying this is the success response and this is the error response. I'm saying that console.log print the error, here. Okay, so now, and here you can console.log, and I'm showing this in the console field. So now go to your this CRUD controller. So you are in the CRUD controller, and you have to create your this method, and I'm saying this is method, and because we are receiving some parameter, first of all we have to check either it's the Ajax request or not. So copy this field and check here. I'm saying if the it's coming from the Ajax request, you can say redirect here, and sorry, if it's not the Ajax request, you can check, you can print the message here, or you can redirect here. So message here, redirect here, otherwise you can receive your data which is coming from your Ajax request, this input, and I'm saying post because we are sending the data in the post. So I'm saying this is text, make sure this is text, and I'm keeping this inside the associative array, and make sure go to your localhost sections and hit your phpMyAdmin sections, because we have a database name and we have a table name. So just a second. Okay, so now it's a Codeigniter CRUD with Ajax. So here is your database, and here is your student table. So now you have student table, as make sure we have student tables. So I'm saying st id, and so it's tricky, we are not storing, we are fetching our id here, but we are not storing our id here. So no need to fetch this id, because we are going to work this id in our front end section, not back end, because we are sending the encrypted id in the text field, because in the text variable. So now you have your encrypted id here. So now first of all you can decrypt here, because we are going to check this ID from the database. So this encryptions decrypt, make sure we are going to decrypt this ID here, this ID here, and we are saving this ID in the same associative array field. First of all, so check this by calling your model. I'm saying this, and we have a model name mod crud, and I'm saying check user. Okay, and I'm sending the associative array in this field. Make sure go to your crud mod crud model, and you can write your, okay, we are going to create, because we are sending associative array, so that's why we are receiving associative array here. So now I'm saying this db get where, make sure we are it takes two parameters. First is table's name, second is associative array. So we are sending the associative array from our controller, so that's why I am receiving the associative array here. So what is the name of your table? This is the name of your table. Make sure I'm saying that return this method, and I'm saying return me the in the form of array. So I'm saying array result. Make sure array result. So go to your method, go to your controller, make sure and check out either it's coming or not. So that's why I'm saying store this inside the variables. I'm saying my result, and I'm saying if the count, because it's coming as a associative array. So I'm saying if my result count equals to 1, I am echoing that working. Otherwise you can say echo not found. It's totally depend upon you, how you are coding, how you are logic, how can you create your logics. So I'm saying if the record is found, echo the working, echo the string which is working. Otherwise say not working. Make sure we are sending, we are calling Ajax. Okay, we are sending our two fields which is we are receiving from our HTML content, and if we have the success Ajax call, so we are response here. So we are saying console.log. so in the controller, in the CRUD controller, we are receiving the Ajax request. Okay, we are checking the Ajax. If the Ajax request is occur, so we are receiving our text field which is encrypted ID, and we are decrypting here, and we are keeping in the same associative array which is data, and this is the field, this is the column name. This field must match with your column name, tables column name, because Codeigniter use the ORM tool, which is object relational mapping. So that's why this field must match with your database tables column. So we are sending this data to our model, which is mod crud, and this method, and in the model we are creating our query, and we are saying please bring me the result as a associative array. So your result is coming from your model. We are keeping those results or that result inside my this variable, and we are checking if the result is 1, echo out this, otherwise this. So go to your controller, refresh the page, because we have just writes our JavaScript code. So now you can add it. It's saying 500 internal error because something went wrong inside our script. Okay, so now I'm saying encryption decrypt data, and you can check out this. If you are debugging, make sure I'm saying die, you can debug like this. I'm saying id. Okay, so now okay, just a second. Before doing this, you can check either the text field is coming or not. Okay, so now you can die this script and you can echo this out. Okay, so now go to your page and added this section. So now it's saying 15. Make sure this code is working fine. So now you can check the model. I'm saying this bot crud check user. So here is your data. We are sending our data and we are receiving our data here. So return array result. So, okay, it's not array result, this is the result array. Okay, it's my mistake. So now go to your page, added the sections, it's saying working fine. So now you have successfully receiving your content. So now once you are receiving your content, you can say echo JSON encode, and you can pass this variable inside your JSON encode section. Make sure you are receiving your associative array, and you because that is the associative array, and you are converting that associative array into the JSON format. Make sure you are echoing from your controller, and because you are receiving here. So before receiving this, you can say here is your obj object, because you are saying JSON dot parse, and you are saying please parse this response, please, because we are sending in the JSON format, we are converting our associative array, PHP associative array, into the JSON format, and you are receiving the JSON format here. So now you are parsing that JSON format into the object. Okay, so now you have your object here. So you can console this, console.log, you can print out here. So now because we have changed our JavaScript, go to your controller, refresh the page. So now you can edit that sections. It's saying at this position 1, why parsing JSON, not decode, JSON encode. Make sure JSON encode. Go to your page, now added these sections. So now it's you are successfully receiving your one object in the object form. So you can see here we are receiving our data in the object form. So now I'm creating a variable like var dynamic field, and it's the empty. Okay, so I'm assigning the value which is empty string. So now you have your field. I'm saying that I'm creating input type equals to text, and I'm saying this is the class and this is the value. Class name, make sure dynamic name, email and password, dynamic name, and here is your value. How can you keep that value? Because we are receiving our object. Make sure this is our object, and we are saying this is our object, and we are accessing our zero index because it's coming in I can explain. You can console dot. Okay, I'm going to explain further now because it's coming in the array. Okay, so now in the 0 element you can access the object. Which object? I'm saying this is the name, std name. Okay, just a second. So now it's the std name. Okay, so copy this field and paste here. I'm saying dynamic email, and I'm saying dynamic password, and once again I have to create the submit button here. So I'm saying this is not the button, I'm saying this is the button, and I'm saying we are closing this button here, and I'm saying update. And you can also change the values of these elements which is coming from our controller. So here is your password, std, make sure std password. So now you have 3 fields, and 4th field is data. I'm saying that data text is, okay, I'm going to create update dynamic button. So this is the class name. You can keep another class name, or you can say xyz class. It's depend upon you. So I'm saying data and id or data text. It's totally depend upon you. I'm saying this. Okay, so now I'm saying what is the id? I'm saying this is the id sections. So now I can say that this .html, just a second. So I'm saying please create the dynamic content, dynamic field, and keep these sections here. So I'm going to create some div here, so you can see feedback. So here is your feedback. I'm saying dynamic content, so br, and I'm saying this is the dynamic content. So now class, I'm saying dynamic content div. Okay, so copy this class and paste here. So now go to your section, refresh the page, because we have just written we are our script which is JavaScript. So now you can see, refresh the page, we are successfully generating our dynamic content. You can hit the edit button. So now it's saying John again. So here is your field, here is your email, here is your KK button, and because it's a password, and you can see the update button. You are saying the data ID 15, because we are going to update our content where the ID is 15. You can see the ID is 15 also here. You can see the ID is 15 also here. So you can also go to your home page. You can also define your ID here. I can say this is the ID, and in the TD or table data you can copy paste here, and you can say this is the ID. Go to your controller, refresh the page. So now you can see your ID is 15. You can edit you can hit the submit but edit the section or anchor. So now we are going to update our section, these sections. We are going to send this informations to our controller, and we are going to save this informations inside our table or inside our database. So how can you do that. So whenever someone click this button, we are going to fetch this data and we are going to send these data to our controller. So how can you do that? Just go to your custom field. First of all, you have to create your submit button. So now we are saying whenever someone hit this button, so how can you do that? I'm saying this is the document, this is the ready section, and I'm saying when someone click on this button. So now first of all I'm going to explain. So it's a function. I'm saying when someone hit this buttons, just console or alert echo, make sure just working. Okay, go to your controller, refresh the page. So now you can edit these sections, update this button. So it's not working. Why it's not working? Because you are creating the dynamic content and you are applying the click event or the click method. This is the event, click event. So that's why it's not working. What should you do? You have to do that. I'm saying that find the body, use the on. Okay, so now find the body. First of all, whenever someone click the section, which sections? I'm saying this sections, just okay, comma separated. So that's why I told you that I consider you have the basic knowledge of jQuery, Codeigniter and JavaScript. So go to your page, refresh the page, make sure go to your controller, refresh the page, edit section, so dynamic section, hit the update button. So now it's saying working. So first of all we have to say that we are going to fetch these 3 fields from these sections and we are going to call our Ajax sections and we are going to send these data to our controller. How can you do that? You can just copy the sections from here, but I'm not doing this. I'm just saying just bring me the value. Which value? Dynamic name. So here is your dynamic name and I'm going to assign this value in the variable. So here is your variable with the same name and you can copy 3 fields because we are going to receive 3 fields here and same. So here is your dynamic password, here is your dynamic password, here is your dynamic password. And before calling the Ajax you must, so here is your if condition and I'm saying then if the dynamic email is empty, make sure I'm saying empty, or dynamic name is also empty, or I'm saying dynamic password is also empty, just show the error. So I'm saying please check the required field and try again, make sure. And you can show this error inside your feedback div. Okay, so now I am showing this error inside the feedback div and I'm if the all fields are not empty, I'm saying working, or you can say call the Ajax here. Okay, so now refresh the hit the go to your controller, hit the refresh button, and edit your sections. It's saying John, and update. You can say two fields are empty, one is you have one values, two fields are empty. Hit the update button, so you can populate your error here, or you can create the sections here, or you can create the sections here. What so it's totally depend upon you. So I'm using the same div which we have just created in our, I think, 3 or 4 lectures. So you have these fields for suppose, and now update the button. It's saying alert is not method. Make sure this is the alert. So now refresh the page, because we have just changed the JavaScript code. Edit. So now update the section. It's saying call the Ajax here. So now everything is working fine. Make sure you must fetch the ID also. I'm saying just fetch the ID. This is the ID, and you can say that this dot data, and I'm saying the ID. So you can also check here, or ID is empty. Okay, so now we are checking 4 fields, 3 are coming from our these fields, and one is we are fetching from the data. So now you have your ID, and you have to call the Ajax now. Okay, so how can you do that? I'm saying dot that Ajax, and I'm saying that type is post. Make sure comma separate. Type is post, and URL is okay. URL is this. I'm saying SURL, which we have created in the footer sections at our view. So now we are saying please call the Ajax Crud controller and update the method. So update method. So we are going to create the update method, and I'm saying data. Which data? I'm saying I'm going to pass this dynamic name. Okay, just a second. Here is your dynamic name. Copy, because we are sending 4 values in the JSON format. So now you have your same data and same field, same data and same field, same data and same field. So now you are sending the data and comma separate. I'm saying when the Ajax request succeed, so success method, here is your function, and I'm saying my response. So here is your response. You can console, you can print that response. So my response. Okay, I'm saying the error. So here is your error. You can print the error here. I'm saying console.log. I'm saying error here. Error here. So now go to your this section, means CRUD controller. Here is your CRUD controller. You can create another method, which is update method, because, and you can check either the it's Ajax request or not. How can you check this request? You can, I'm saying that copy this field here. So we are checking the Ajax request here, and I'm saying if this is the not Ajax request, print error here. Okay, so if it's a Ajax request, just fetch the values which you are sending from your jQuery script, from your Ajax call, and in the post field. So so you can see here is your dynamic name. You can find, because this is the key pair value, so here is your key, here is your value, because we are storing this value inside this variable. So this variable and this variable is the same thing, so these are the keys. So now we are accessing our this data with these keys. So I'm saying dynamic content, and I'm also saying dynamic email. Just create, okay, I'm going to store these informations inside my associative array. I have just created associative array named data. You can create your name, whatever you want to keep the variable name XYZ, and whatever you want to give that name. So I'm saying data, and because for field is coming from our Ajax call, so that's why I have 4 fields. So this is second field, and I'm saying this is the third field, and make sure this is the ID. We are not going to update our ID, but we have to receive our ID, because so this is our ID. Okay, so now we have 3 fields. These keys must match with your database columns. So go to your columns. So here is your column name, email, and password. So you can say std name, and you can say std email, and you can say std password. So here you can see password. So now you have 3 fields. Just check these values are empty or not. So how can you do that? You can also use the form validation library, which is providing you the Codeigniter, which is the built-in library. But I'm just typing my script. I'm saying that if not empty, which I'm saying this associative arrays key, if it's not well empty, or just remove this not, you are confusing here. I'm saying if this field is empty, or this field empty, because I'm going to use 4 fields. So you can, or here, and you can copy paste here. I'm saying if these 3 values, one is this student name, and second is this, and third is this ID. If the so now here is your empty. Okay, we are checking if some fields, or if a particular field is empty among these 3 or 4 values. So print the error here. I can say please check the required fields. This is the server side validations. Okay, so now if the all fields are not empty, make sure I'm saying not empty, all fields are working fine. So call the Ajax, call the model, which model. We have a single model named mod crud, and we are just calling the update method, and make sure we are sending the associative array which we have just created with our id in the second parameter id. So now we are sending our associative array and our id to the update method in our model. So go to your mod crud and you have to create your update functions or method. I'm saying public functions. This is my update method, and I'm saying first parameter is the associative array, second is the id, and here I can say this db where class, because we are finding a student id. Just a second, I'm going to explain what's going on here. This db, I'm saying update, make sure it takes two parameters. First is table's name, second is associative array. So here is your table's name, second, and we are fetching associative array, so that's why we are giving that associative array here, and we are saying please update these fields where the id is this. So return this sections. Why we are doing? Because whenever you want to call the update, insert and delete method, it must return true or false. So I'm saying my return and I'm checking this return type into my if statement, otherwise else. I'm saying my returns, if we are successfully updated our sections, I'm saying updated, okay. Otherwise I have to say that not updated, okay. So now everything is working fine, okay. So now go to your custom.js sections. So it's giving me some error. So here is your else ends here, if ends here, and this is your body sections, okay. Everything is working fine, just remove this, okay. So now go to your controller, main controller, refresh the page, unexpected line number 72. Where is the line number 72? Here is your 72 line number. So this dot, make sure dot, this dot data id, okay. So refresh the page. So here is your field which we have just created dynamically. So now we have console sections. I'm saying John again, and I'm removing this sections, and I'm just updating, and I'm going to update these fields. So hit the update button. So it's saying updated. So make sure go to your 15 id, go to your field or tables and find the 15 id. Here is the John again, and refresh the table. So now it's saying John, you have just updated your sections from your using Ajax call. So whenever you have updated your section, so how can you update this field as well, or these fields as well? So how can you do that? Because you are updating John name, email and password. You are not showing the password here, but you are showing the name and the email and the id here. So how can you do that? I'm saying just go to your home controller and just you can create the dynamic class to every TD. I'm saying this is the dynamic class. How can you create that? I'm saying dynamic ID, and you can print the ID here. So here is your ID, call this bad boy, and so here is your ID. So dy, this is the constant and this is the dynamic ID. You can, so dy, and you can copy this bad boy and you can paste this bad boy here, and you can also do that here. You can also, okay, no need to, because we are updating the we are just updating these two fields, not this IDE. Okay, so now you have, I'm saying this is dynamic name and I'm saying this is dynamic email. So now you have two fields which we have just you updated, and in your custom.js field, because you are fetching these two fields here, so you can say, okay, if you have successfully updated the results, you can say the echo true, otherwise you can say false. It's totally depend upon you how you are doing. I'm saying false. Okay, so now false, and you have to check at your JS section. So here is your JS sections. I'm saying if I'm receiving the my response to just update this name which ID we have just created. So here is your ID. So here is your ID. You can, because we are receiving the ID as well, so we are concatenating and we are merging our static with dynamic ID. So update this, and we can also say, and also update the email section, and you can also say just update the password. You can say here is your email, and because we are not showing the password in this field, so that's why no need to show our password here. So now it's working fine. Otherwise your logic here, or you can console out, or you can print the error here like this. We are not okay. You can say we cannot update your record right now. Okay, so go to your controller, refresh the page. So now you have your section. So now I'm going to edit this 13 record, which is Alex. Again, edit the sections, and you can remove the Alex sections, and now you can okay, I'm just updating this field, so hit the update button. So now you are successfully updating your tables, and you are successfully updating your 13 record, which is Alex. Again, refresh the table as well, so you can see here is your updated column. And make sure whenever you want to update a particular record, you must remove this section as well. Or how can you do that? I'm saying just if we successfully updated the section, just go to the okay dynamic content, and I'm saying this, please empty this field. please empty the div, refresh the page, because we have changed our script, JavaScript. So now I'm saying John, so this is your John, and I'm saying again, or I'm saying edit. So hit the update button. We are going to delete that particular record from this table as well, and from our database as well. So now we have to create our column here. How can you do that? Because we are showing our results here, so we have another column, delete, and we have to show our delete content here. So now we have a td, and I'm saying I have a href. It's just copy paste because we are not sending this href to anywhere. So okay, so now I'm saying delete. Okay, so just pass the id. First of all, just copy these lines, data id and data field, data text and data text. Make sure data id and data text. So paste this here. Make sure, I'm going to explain what's going on here. Make sure I'm saying I'm encrypting my id and saving or keeping my id inside my data text attribute, which is the HTML attribute, and also I'm keeping my original id in the data text. This is the HTML attribute. So now go to your page and refresh the controller. So now you have your another column, which is delete. You have your encrypted id and you have your data. Why we are encrypting our id? Because of the security purpose. So now just create a class. So here is your class. I'm saying this is my class. Which class? Delete. You can write another class, xyz, or whatever you want to keep the class name. So I'm saying this is the delete class, and whenever someone hit this button or hit the anchor, or so we are going to delete this sections as this sections, and we are going to delete this record, which is 15, from our database as well. So now first of all, go to your custom.js sections. So first of all, we have to create our section. I'm saying find the body, and I'm saying in the first parameter, I'm saying this is the click functions. If someone, and I'm saying if someone hit this button. Okay, so now, and this is your anonymous function here. So I'm saying just echo out, just alert, please. Okay, it's for you because I can work directly, but I'm showing how can you write your script. So it's saying, because we are doing step by step, I am teaching you step by step, so that's why I am explaining each and everything. So first of all, you have to check the ID and the text. First of all, it's totally depend on your logics, how you are creating your logic. So I'm saying, first of all, I'm saying this dot data, I'm saying text. Okay, I'm saying this is the text. You can change the variable name. So this is the text. I'm saying this is the text. I'm fetching, and this is the ID. So now we are fetching the text attribute, and we are also fetching the id attribute from the current anchor which we have just created, and we are saving the text inside our text variables and id inside our id variable. So first of all, you can check the text. So text here, if the text is empty, you can, or the id is empty, this is the basic validations. I'm make sure I'm saying this is the basic validations. It's because it's a beginners series, so that's why I'm using the basic. So if the fields which we are fetching the results from text or from our id, so if the some fields is empty, please, we are sending the error, and we are saying that we are showing this error inside this class. So now I can say, and Ajax call here. So how can you call the Ajax? So sorry, dot Ajax, and I'm saying type is post, and make sure I'm saying URL, and I'm saying SURL and plus sign, and I'm saying my controller, which is crud. Here is our method. I'm saying delete method, comma separated. We are sending some data. So how can you send some data, comma separate, and I'm saying if success, this is our success anonymous functions, and if the error is occur, I'm saying error. So here is our sections, and here is our, I'm saying that if the response equals to true, just alert deleted, and otherwise you can directly set the, why you are alerting here error here, you can say we have or you have successfully deleted, make sure deleted, or copy this bad boy, paste this bad boy here. So I'm saying we cannot delete your sections right now. Okay, so you cannot, so here is your, you cannot delete your section right now. Please try again. It's totally depend upon you because you are writing the errors. So now okay, successfully. So go to your CRUD controller and create your delete method. So here is your method, and I'm saying I'm going to create this method, and make sure I'm checking the Ajax field, because if the Ajax request is occurred or not is, or in simple words, you can copy this code as well while you are writing again and again. So you can copy paste here. So if the Ajax, if this is the not Ajax request, I'm saying redirect here. Make sure you can redirect here. I'm just typing redirect error here. If this is the Ajax request, I'm just checking, and I'm going to check some fields. I'm this input, I'm saying because we are sending in the tag post format, so we are receiving post here. I'm saying text because we just need this text, not id. So that's why you have to send this text with text. Okay, so you are receiving your text here, so you can say this is id because it's a converted text, because you are converting your text in, because it's the encrypted id. So you have to decrypt your id inside your controller. This I'm saying encryption decrypt, which decrypt id, and you can store this id inside the id. Okay, so this is the basic, this is very basic. So you can check, or you can first check if the field is empty or not. I'm saying if the field is not empty, if the field is not empty, make sure I'm saying not empty, do this, otherwise do this. I'm saying return or echo false. So if the field is, so echo, I'm saying error here, your error here. So you have your id, I'm saying id. So if you are receiving the id, you can call your model, which is mod crud, and you can call your method. I am going to create this method delete, and I'm going to send this id. So go to your delete method, or go to your model, make sure model. So create your model, because we are sending the id from our controller, so that's why we are receiving the id from here. I'm saying this db where, because we are going to delete from a particular section this db, and I'm using the delete method. It takes only one parameter, which is table's name. I'm saying please delete the record from this tables, but where, I'm saying where stid student id equals to this id. Okay, so if so return, and because we are returning here, so that's why we are going to receive our value here. I'm saying return type, or you can rename this variable to anyone you want to. It's depend upon you. I'm saying if you are successfully deleting, you are I'm saying echo deleted, or otherwise you can say echo, you cannot delete your, you cannot or we cannot delete your record right now. We cannot delete your record right now. So okay, so here is your return type. So everything is working fine. Once you have deleted your sections, or you can say if you are deleting your record, you can echo the true, otherwise false, and you can check this here. If the true, you can say you have successfully deleted your record. Go to your controller, refresh the page, make sure you can also check the console sections. Everything is working fine, so that's why it's not giving us any error. You can delete your 15 record, so delete this 15 record. It's saying you have successfully deleted. So now you have successfully deleted your content from your database. Now you can go to your table. 15 is also available. Refresh the page. So you have just deleted your record from your table from your database, but you are not deleting the record from your front end table. So how can you delete your record from your front end table? So just go to your table and create your class, a dynamic class, so you can delete your particular TI. So create your dynamic class inside the TR sections, because this is the table row and you are going to delete this table row. So I'm saying table row, and make sure I'm also saying that this is the ID. Okay, so it's tricky, buddy. So now refresh the page. So now you have just created the dynamic ID. So you can see here, not printing because we are not echoing. Why? Okay, control F5. So now, so you can see here class tr14. So here is your tr sections. So you have multiple trs, tr14, 15, 13, 12, 11, 10. It's totally, you are creating the dynamic class. So once you have a dynamic class, I'm saying just find this tr because it's a dynamic class. So I'm saying merge with ID, because we also receiving the ID as well. So ID, I'm saying just fade out, and I'm saying slow. It takes one parameter, slow, fast, or you can pass the integer values 100, oh sorry, 1000, which is equals to 1 second. So now go to your page, because we have just changed our HTML content and JavaScript. So now you can see here console. Now we are going to delete 14 record, which is John at hotmail.com. We have created this field, this date. So go to your delete section, hit your delete button. So now you can see you have successfully deleted your record from your database, and also you have successfully deleted your record from your front end tables. So now go to your table and refresh the student page. So you have successfully deleted your 13 record. So now find the class. So this is the submit class. Okay, find this class inside your script section. So here is your class. You can, oh, so here is your class. Okay, so now you have a this sections. You are receiving the data from your controller. You are parsing that data from JSON to JavaScript object, and you are creating the tr row. First of all, tr row. So first of all, go to your home controller and you are setting the tr first of all. So go to your JavaScript section, create the tr section as well. This is the PHP scripts. You are not going to create like this. So copy these sections, and you can replace these sections like this, tr. Okay, because it's a class, so call the class, and you can copy this section, and this is the stid. Okay, so now you have replaced your tr. You have to replace the dynamic name and dynamic email also. So copy this section, copy this class, replace with dynamic name, and you can also replace with dynamic td. Okay, and you can write your, so this is tr class, and this is the dynamic name. So here is your dynamic name, and this is your dynamic email. So here is your dynamic email. So now you are creating your dynamic sections, and go to your controller, refresh the page, delete some data. First of all, we are deleting some data. because we are going to edit some data. So I'm saying John, and I'm saying John at hotmail.com, password is KK, hit the submit button. So now, because we are also creating a ID here, so you can also create your ID here. So copy this bad boy, replace this bad boy here, remove this because it's ID. Okay, so now refresh the page and you can say John again, John at hotmail.com, password KK, submit the button. So now you are appending your data inside here. So hit the inspect element sections. You are assigning the dynamic classes to your TRs and TDs. So how can you edit your sections like this? Because the sections is contained with your encrypted ID and you are not receiving the encrypted sections. So copy this method, find this method. So you have this method here, so you have this method here. Here's this method, open this method. So now, first of all, how can you do that? So first of all, you are receiving the associative array, you are converting the associative array inside the associative array into the JSON format. So before converting the JSON format, you must create your associative array, your another associative array. I'm saying another, this is the associative array, and I'm saying this is std id. Okay, just a second, I'm going to explain what's going on. So just comment these sections, because we are receiving the result into the associative array. I'm saying this is the associative array. Make sure associative array, we are receiving the associative array inside our array. So that's why we are saying we are accessing the zero array, zero element or zero index, and I'm saying stid and copy the bad boy because we are going to explain. So this is the name, so here is your name, and I'm saying here is the encrypted ID. I'm saying encrypt ID. So how can you encrypt your ID? I'm saying that this encryptions encrypt. Okay, we are encrypting our ID and we are saving, or we are going to save, or we are saving our ID inside our encrypted ID. So here is your name and here is your email, because we are receiving ID, name, email. So now we have just created our associative array. Make sure now you can echo out this associative array, not this. So this associative array echoing, make sure. So we are fetching the associative array in our zero index. So we are not saving, or we are not using the array. So that's why go to your custom.js sections and remove this zero, and also you can remove this zero as well. Okay, so now it should works. And make sure we are going to create our section, which is our anchor. So here is your TD, and I'm saying this is the anchor. Just a second. So no need to create the dynamic class because okay. So my var, and I'm saying the TD starts here and ends here, and I am saying my vars starts here, and this is the anchor href. Okay, and I'm saying this, I'm closing this anchor here, don't worry. Okay, so now you are creating your just copy this out, paste here, because we are not going to send this href to anywhere. First of all, you have to write the text, data text. Second, you have to write the text id, and third, the class name. What is the class name? This is the class name of your section. Okay, edit and delete is the class name. So first of all, I'm going to create the edit sections, edit anchor, and make sure I'm saying the edit my var, I'm saying edit. Okay, so just copy this section and paste these sections here and also here. So this is the id and this is a text field also. Okay, because we are sending the encrypted id in encrypted id, so that's why I'm saying encrypted id, and this is the same id which is this which we are sending from our controller. So okay, so now we have just created our edit sections, so we are going to create our delete sections. Copy these sections and paste this section as well, and bad boy, and I'm saying this is the delete section. And I'm saying id is also delete, so copy that delete id, paste that delete id, so this is the same thing. Okay, so now go to your controller, refresh the page, and now you can click the console button so you can find the errors. I'm saying John Alexander, sorry, John Alexander, I'm saying john@hotmail.com, password kk, and hit the submit button. So it's saying std id of undefined. Where is the error? You can std id is undefined because we are receiving the associative array, not the array. So here is your you can also delete this id. So good, because we have changed our script, javascript code. So go to your controller, refresh the page. I'm saying John Alexander, I'm saying john@hotmail kk, password, hit the submit button. Oh no, why it's giving us date? Because we also missing, where is the date? Here is our date. So we can also delete this bad boy. So go to your controller, refresh the page, because I forgot these things. I'm saying John Alexander, because it's also inserting, but we are making mistakes. So I'm saying John, I'm saying KK. So just hit the submit button. So now it's working fine. Why it's saying undefined in our undefined sections? So you can delete some code here because we are not receiving something here. Delete, 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 and delete, 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 delete. So it's saying undefined. We are not okay. Where is our ID? So here is our ID. We are creating our ID here. TD start, TD end, TD start, TD end. So here is your TD end, TR ending here. So I have to create another submit. So it's John. Okay, something is missing because we are okay. std id, std id, std name, email, and this is also email. So why we are save? Because we are showing two records, kk submit, and this is kk undefined, and edit and delete. Why it's saying undefined? Because where is the kk? Just go to your CRUD sections and std id. Okay, we have this is the email, std email. Okay, so now we are making silly mistakes from our controller. So now go to your section and edit section, submit the button. It's saying 24 kk, email is kk, edit. Okay, we must fetch the date as well. So date, so go to your page and hit the enter button. So now okay, we are okay, we are, this is delete section, this is edit sections, and we are just creating the date sections at the end of this sections. So we must keep our delete sections here. Go to your page, refresh the page. So now you can see JJ and hit the submit button. Now it's saying it's working fine. You can also delete this elements you have successfully deleted, and now you can also delete and delete. You can refresh the page now and JJ submit the button you have just created. You can delete, JJ is deleted and deleted and deleted. Okay guys, so in this way you can call the Ajax functionality or embed the Ajax functionality by using the Codeigniter 3. So I hope guys you are enjoying our videos. If you think we are doing good, thumbs up. Feel free to share our courses with your friends and also on social networks. And please support us by clicking the subscribe button and pressing the bell icon so you never miss any update. So thank you for watching.